why do Americans stay in their job, do you think? If they hate their job, why do they stay in the job? Why not try find something else, create something else?
Well, we are loyal to dysfunction. And so if something doesn't work, a lot of times we just want to keep doing it because it's something that we're used to doing. So a lot of times, why is it, one of the businesses I invest in, it's a men's grooming lounge. Right. And why does a guy have a haircut that he's had since like the 80s? There's a guy right now, if you're watching this and you're offended, just kind of deal with it. But there's a guy with a bowl cut right now. I don't know who you are right now, but if you have a bowl cut, we can make a change.
We can help you.
But you might be loyal to the dysfunction of having a bowl cut, and people who love you have just decided not to tell you anymore, and you're just going to keep on growing that bowl cut, just getting that mop. You just don't want to chop it. You want to keep it just that way. But eventually we have to get a haircut. But a lot of us, we just don't want to get a haircut. We don't want to switch schools. We don't want to move states. We don't want to switch careers. We love to stick where we are. We don't want to do anything that's going to involve change.
So we've looked at the statistics, though. This is a huge problem, but we're saying that the way to get out of this, to get ahead, is the 6-day principle.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a broad overview here. We're going to dive into it, but broad overview. The 6-day principle, what is that? In a sentence or two?
The 6-day principle is essentially putting in enough effort that you logically have a chance to get ahead. If you and I are competing in a race, and I start 15% early. So if you work 5 days a week, and I work 6, and our job is running, no matter how slow I am, I probably will beat you or at least be close to ahead of you if I'm running a full extra day a week than you are. And the 6-day principle is a principle that most millionaires, mentors, and everyday success stories that we've interviewed, I say most, all of them are doing. I cannot think of an example of somebody who got ahead who wasn't spending more time running than the average person.
Right. And here's a great example of this. Elon Musk, very successful entrepreneur, in PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, those are all his babies that he started here. This is what he has to say about the 6-day principle. He says, the minimum is really a 50-hour work week, and there are times when it'll be 60 to an 80-hour week. Now, the general understanding is that if you're at Tesla, you're choosing to be at the equivalent of special forces. That has pluses and minuses. It's cool to be a special forces, but it also means you're working your ass off. It's not for everyone. This is the standard he set at Tesla. And I know you've set a similar standard at Thrive. He's saying if you're looking for a 9-to-5 job and you're not willing to go ahead or over-deliver, it might not be the best place for you.
Well, the thing is, if you want to have a career and you want to be stuck in the middle, then you don't want to put in the extra effort needed to get ahead. And maybe if you're watching this, we're talking about trade-offs, and maybe you're saying, hey, thrive, I don't want to thrive, I just want to survive. I just want to get to work barely on time and not get promoted, and my American dream is just to be average.
I don't know if there is a website, Survive 15 or Survive 1.
Yeah, there's an offshoot we're starting called beambiguously.mediocre.com. It's hard to spell it, but the point is, very few. If that's your goal, but if your goal is to have success, here's the problem. And I don't mean to get psychologically too deep here, but if you're professing with your mouth and your mind that your goal is to be here, but you're doing effort that's taking you here, you're going to have this thing called dissonance, which is where you are disagreeing with what your values don't align with your actual actions. And if that is the case, when you have dissonance, that leads to depression and feeling just kind of down and out, and that's not a good place to be.
So that is deep. So you're saying that it's not, there's people out there, I've been guilty of this many times, of professing something that I want, but not doing the necessary actions to make that a reality. Is that what you're saying, dissonance?
And I'll rip on myself for a minute. I had this company called DJ Connection, and I wanted to grow this multi-million-dollar business. And so I bought the equipment, I bought the speakers, I bought the lights, I bought the vans, I had it all the accoutrements, all the stuff, all the gizmos. And I wanted my phone to ring, so I would look at it, and I would focus like a laser beam. Did
that work?
Well, I would use this thing called osmosis.
Oh, wow.
And I used telepathy.
Wow.
ESP. And then
the phone rang.
And the phone never rang. And so I would, and over time you start to realize this industry isn't working.
Wow.
The DJ industry is too tough.
Right.
The market's too tough.
Nothing you can do.
The economy's too tough. These are things I would say to myself. Right. And then my beautiful wife would say, how come you're not on the phone right now? And I said, well, and I have a whole series of excuses. And the problem with excuses is that over time, with excuses, if you state an excuse with enough emotion and then over time you start to believe it as a way to justify your behavior to avoid dissonance and feeling bad.
Okay, so I believe what you're doing here is saying if we really do want to become successful,
Yep.
if we've defined the American dream, we have our own goals, we're trying to be successful in this way, but we're not willing to do the 6-day principle, there's probably going to be dissonance.
Yeah, well, there's a couple other examples, though, just to help you. If your American dream is different. There's one person I know who her American dream is to work 3 days a week, and I helped her on this. And so she built a business where literally she only works 3 days a week.
Right.
So she set up the expectations to customers. Hey, I'm just going to work 3 days a week. She adjusted her lifestyle where she only needs to work 3 days a week. And everything she does is adjusted to achieve that goal of working 3 days a week.
With 3 days a week, or did she have to put in more time at the beginning? How does that work?
She cut the cost of her lifestyle so low that she could completely be terrible in almost every discernible area and still be able to achieve that goal of time freedom. And that's because with her life and some of the obligations that she had, she just couldn't, she had a child with some physical disabilities.
Right.
And so she had to find a way to be able to take care of the child and be there enough, but also be able to provide. So she cut her cost of living and cut those things down so she could achieve her own version of the American dream.
But it's a trade-off, like you said in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. We're going to do a little another notable quotable here. It's from the Bible.
No!
It's from the Bible.
It's controversial.
You've heard of it, though.
Okay.
Many of us have at least heard of it.
I won't censor you.
This is a quote here from Genesis 2:1. It says, "By the 7th day, God finished what he'd been doing and stopped working." That's it. That's the quote right there. Because he worked for 7 days and kind of, I believe, was the first one to establish the 6-day rule. Would you agree?
Yeah, allegedly, according to that controversial book called the Bible, that the planet was created in 6 days. On the 7th day, he rested. But if you don't believe that, we go to Elon Musk.
We go to Elon
Musk.
And
Elon Musk, I mean, he's totally not in the Bible. I mean, I don't think he's in the Bible, is he?
He is not, no.
No, he's not in the Bible. So Elon Musk, you can go with that. But the point is, you're going to have to put in the extra effort if you want to get ahead.